Okay, welcome to Planet Geography. Today we're looking at the drainage basin of rivers and its key features. Key terms, tier 3 language is going to be so important, all right? So we don't say the start of river, we say the source. We don't say the end of the river, we say the mouth, okay? Rivers are going to go on a huge change as they make this journey. They're going to go from the upper course to the middle course and to the lower course. Now the one main reason for their change is their discharge changes, and this is because of tributaries. Okay, a tributary. Now when I say tributary, I always think of the word contribute. If you contribute something, you're adding something to it, and that's exactly what tributaries do. They add discharge and volume of water to our river, and so it goes from a very small stream to a huge kilometre wide river in some parts of the world. We also have a confluence. A confluence is where a tributary meets the main river channel. So this is our main river channel. Tributary is where they meet. You have a house here, very high risk of flooding, so your insurance is going to be very, very high. Okay? So far we've got source, tributary, confluent, and mouth. The next thing I want to get your head around, this is something I always struggle to teach kids, so you can give me some advice on how to improve, is your watershed. Now your watershed is like a boundary. Think tectonic plate boundary. Watershed is very, very similar. If there is precipitation that lands inside the watershed, it's going to end up in our river. If that precipitation lands outside of our watershed, it's going to end up in a different river, okay? So that's what the watershed is, almost like the boundary of the river. The bigger the watershed, the bigger the river, because you have a bigger catchment area and more water going into our river. Okay, next I want to talk about the kind of physical features. So in the upper course, which I'm just going to write as UP, we're going to find waterfalls, V-shaped valleys, not U-shaped, V-shaped valleys, and we're going to find interlocking spurs. Okay, please check out my other videos if you need any more details on waterfalls or V-shaped valleys. The next is the middle course. Now the middle course has pretty much just one classic feature, and that is meanders. Okay, so check out my video for that. We find meanders in the middle course. Little quick revision session. We'd say, remember, there's erosion on the outside of a meander bend, and there is deposition on the inside of the bend. Okay, so it's to do with the different speeds in the river. We then move on to the lower course, which is where we find floodplains, levees, check out my videos for those, and deltas. Yep, and this tends to be the most populated, densely populated part of the river cycle, and this is because the land is flat, the land is very fertile because of the nutrients from flooding, and so farming is very, very easy. And yeah, that kind of rounds out our kind of key features of a drainage basin, okay? As always with physical geography, stick to your key terms, with the source, mouth, tributary, confluence, okay, meander, watershed, okay? I hope that helps. We're going to look at an exam question now, as always. So like and subscribe if you're not interested in that. If you are, I'll see you in a second. Okay, so let's look at a question from the Geography A paper, the Physical Environments paper. The question is dead simple. Explain one reason why river discharge changes along the course of the river. Bug the question. Explain. So we need to use that word because. One reason, we need to underline the keyword. So one reason discharge changes river. So the question is asking you, well, why does it go from a very small stream to a very large river, or potentially vice versa? So let's look at the mark scheme and see what we could have got. So we see here, I'd pause this and have a read. Interestingly, this one is talking about how it increases, and these two are talking about how it decreases. I would say 90% of candidates would talk about this one here. As the river flows downstream, more tributaries join it, which provides water from a larger part of the drainage basin. So how do we turn that into our own version? So one blank is, again, use words in the question. One reason is, then because. So mark for a point and mark for a development. So one reason is due to tributaries. This is my point. As soon as I say the word tributaries, I've got a mark. Because as they join the main river channel, they contribute their discharge to the river. So we see here that they are adding key language, main river channel, contribute, discharge, river. Contribute is a tier 2 word, so it's an academic word, it's not actually a geography word, it just means add to. We mentioned it in the video. So as the examiner skim reads, they're going to give you a mark for the point and then say, well, have they got enough language to get that second mark? And in this case we have, so it's a full mark response. I hope you found that useful, and I will see you next time.